Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. We're out here at Computex Taipei 2025 checking out what Antec's got to offer. They've revived a classic case that was one of the cases that I used back in my heyday. So let's go check out some cool new things. Should we go check out some cool things? You guys ready? Are you sure you're ready? Yeah. Day 2, baby. Let's get it. But first, a word from our video sponsors. It's MSI. Take it away, Claire.
Our Computex Taipei 2025 coverage is proudly brought to you by MSI and their QD OLED gaming monitors. Think your monitor's good? Think again. MSI's QD OLEDs deliver perfect blacks, stunning colour and up to 500Hz refresh rates. It's like unlocking cheat codes. With 0.03 milliseconds response times, blink and you'll literally miss it. No fans, no noise, just cool, quiet graphene wizardry. PC or console, these monitors are ready with all the ports you will ever need. Go on, spoil your eyeballs. To find out more about MSI and their range of QD OLED gaming monitors, check out the links in the video description.
First up, there's a little refresh of the Antec Core HS. I'm not going to go too much into this other than it uses the new AMD Ryzen 8840U. So the CPU is slightly faster, but I thought I would mention it because I know someone out there is going to ask. The truth is the original Core HS is the handheld that I use for gaming, and I know a lot of people don't agree with my choices, but I found this unit to be very, very good. I use this when I'm on the plane. I played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on this, and yeah, it was really, really good to play that on too. That's not the only handheld thing here, because, you know, if you start with one, you have to get two. That's the whole fun with handhelds. They've got a new handheld called the brand new Antec Core Moco. This is a, let's call it a rebranded ANEO handheld, but this is an Android-based handheld that is really designed to tickle that retro pickle. And yeah, basically you can install any game that you like from the Google Play Store. If this is something you want to see us cover on the channel, please let us know and I'll try and get one in for review. This one will be going for around about $300 US and it will be launching very, very soon. But you guys know what it's time for. We'll want to take a look at some new cases. You've seen it. Let's go take a look at that new Noctua FLUX collaboration. Both Antec and Noctua have been teasing this one all over social media. This is one of the collaborations you guys have been waiting for. This is the Noctua and Antec FLUX PRO. What makes this different is some very obvious things. First of all, we've got some Noctua branding on the front wood panels of the case, but the most interesting thing is the color shift in the case. And by that I mean no fancy colors, we've got Noctua brown. There's lots of tiny bits of Noctua-esque attention to detail, down to even the rubber cable grommets are Noctua brown, as well as these bottom panels and the side panel of the case as well. Again, let me know what you think. I like it. It looks really, really sweet. I don't hate it. In terms of the fans that are going to be included with the Noctua/Antec FLUX PRO, there's going to be two 120mm fans on the bottom, three 140s up the front, and then one at the rear, making this collaboration a Noctua lover's absolute dream. Now, I've spoken to Noctua in the past about case designing and whether or not they would bring their own case to market, but I think, for Noctua at least, this is the path of least resistance. You don't have to go and create all of your own tooling. Antec's got you covered. Antec's cases over the last 5 years have increased dramatically in quality to the point where from the bottom up, the quality is fantastic. And we reviewed the FLUX PRO really, really well on the channel. So good work, Antec and Noctua. This is going to be an excellent collaboration. In terms of pricing and availability, no word on that just yet, but I'm sure it's not going to be insanely expensive, given Antec's track record with affordable, high-quality cases. Let us know down below in the comments what you think of this collaboration. Personally, I like it. Many people don't like the brown, but, you know, I was made this way. I know what I like, and I'm made of what I like. At the end of last year, we reviewed the Performance 1M, and I really, really like this case. It had a few limitations, which I'll come back to in a moment, but one thing that Antec is doing is creating a new version of the case. It's called the Vertical, and by new version, I mean quite literally, they're going to be selling the Performance 1M with this metal holder here to allow you to, quite obviously, vertically mount the 1M. This is good if you want to save some space on your desk. All the cables will pop out the back side of this, making it for a very aesthetic looking version of the Performance 1M. Right, this looks cool. I really, really like it. Now, you might be asking yourself, don't you wish there was a version of the Performance 1M that allowed you to have liquid cooling support? Well, I got a secret. This is a prototype for an upcoming case that they're developing called the Performance EXO. Now, right now, as I said, it's a prototype still with the same sandwich layout as the Performance 1M, but this one will quite possibly allow liquid cooling support as well as a whole variety of 3D printed parts. The best thing about them showing this type of stuff at Computex is, if you guys have any ideas of what you think they should do, leave a comment down below, because I can guarantee Antec will sift through the comments and see if they can come up with some nice suggestions from the community. That's one good thing I've always found with Antec. They're really open to community collaboration. So the Performance EXO, yeah, but there's still time, guys. If you got any ideas, let us know down below. Personally, I would love to see this expanded in a way that will allow 360mm liquid cooling in a similar footprint to the original Performance 1M. Again, let me know what you think down below in the comments. This could get very, very spicy very, very quickly. Come closer. I want to show you guys this thing. Antec tried to hide this from me. This is a white label cooler for Threadripper. I'm not sure why they're trying to hide this from me, but guys, let's make some noise down below in the comment section. I really want them to bring this to market. It's got a full cover cold plate. Please, Antec, give us this 360mm liquid cooler with this cold plate, because I will switch out all of my coolers for something like this, especially because it's got no RGB. Look at it. It's absolutely gorgeous and simple. And I get that the AI revolution is taking over, but for people like me and enthusiasts who need a decent cooler for their Threadripper system, yeah, there's a massive, massive gap in the market right now, basically dictated by companies like Silverstone and using those really crappy Acertec adapter brackets for coolers that don't have full cover cold plates. Please, Antec, I'm begging you, make this a reality. All right, OG gamers, I've got a surprise for you. Last year, I was having lunch with the CEO of Antec, and he asked me one huge question. He's like, Nick, do you have an Antec 900 in storage? Unfortunately, it's one of the cases I don't have in storage, because he had an idea. They wanted to bring back one of Antec's most popular cases from 2006, the Antec 900, and they wanted to do it in a big way. And by big way, I mean quite literally in the biggest way possible, with this gorgeous aluminium frame case, the new Antec 900. What makes this case special? Well, already mentioned, it's got an aluminium frame. You've got to be realistic with yourself here, guys. It will bump the price up of the case slightly, but what you're getting from Antec is something they've been doing for a long time, and that is high quality cases coming in at a decent price. Now, I'm going to spoil this for you. They're saying just north of $200 US, and I think that's okay for a case like this. What features are we getting though? Let's take a look. This case is absolutely massive. So 360mm liquid cooler support at the top it's a no-brainer. Of course it's going to do that. However, we have support or 420mm radiators up the front. As for pre-installed fans in the Antec 900, they're looking at doing a 140mm fan at the back, as well as two 120s on the top of the PSU shroud, and then these two massive 200mm fans up the front. The front of the case also has an adjustable frame that will allow you to install fans from 120, 140, 160, and 200mm right out of the gate. Now, I have some notes. First of all, they're saying only 3 120mm fans. Right? This looks like it should be able to do at least 4. Right, Claire? At least 4. That's all right. We're going to test this when we get this into the studio, when we get a chance to review it. But this is looking pretty darn fantastic. But it doesn't stop there. I do have some more feedback for the 900. Now, what I noticed when I was taking a bit of a closer look at this case before is the front edge of the motherboard tray, if you're looking at the back of the case on the left-hand side, is attached with 4 screws, and then there's a few screws along the back edge to attach the motherboard tray to the other side of the case. But there are 3 rivets holding that motherboard tray, and what I would like to see is them removing the rivets and allowing you to remove the entire motherboard tray from the back of the case. What this will do will allow you not only to install your motherboard, but if you flip it over, all of your 2.5-inch SSDs, if that's something you're looking at doing, because this case supports up to 5 of them on that back motherboard tray. Let us know if you think that's something that they should do, but the only issue is this case has already gone into mass production. So maybe they can do what they did with the original 900 and make a 900 V2. Finally, something I thought I would just add in because this one kind of piqued my interest because of the design. This is the new Antec Vortex View. What makes this different is absolutely nothing. There's lots of screen coolers out here this year at Computex, but it does have a trick. So what they've done is they've looked at how tripod heads are developed and like ball heads and friction heads for camera gear and implemented it into the screen for the cooler. So essentially, you can move it in any orientation, any rotation you like you could with a ball head on a tripod. And to kind of lock it into place, it uses a similar system of tightening it like you would with a tripod. Someone at Antec is definitely into camera gear. I did ask the obvious question about whether or not you can extend your desktop to this cooler and put anything you want on it, but unfortunately you have to use the software and there is no way of doing this with the Antec Vortex View cooler. A little bit disappointing to see that, considering this is the trend that we've been seeing with a lot of screens this year at Computex. Let us know if you think they can just do it and fix it in firmware. Yeah, it needs a firmware update. Everything needs a firmware update. Your AIO doesn't fit? Get a firmware update. Your fan is slightly wonky? Get a firmware update. All right, that's everything I think you need to see at Antec this year at Computex Taipei 2025. How about the Antec 900? That for me was what was a time, guys. I had that case. It was awesome. In fact, I had 2 of them, but I had about 5 Antec 300s. Let's hope they bring the 300 back next year. It was basically a smaller version of the 900. The 300 was cool because it made all of my desktop PCs look like they were utilitarian server cases on a desk. Maybe next year. Maybe we get a silver 300. Who knows? All right. Special thanks to MSI for sponsoring our Computex Taipei 2025 coverage. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. First cab off the rank for day 2 of this whole endeavor. You peak, we seek. Did I say I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers? I don't know. I didn't say away from the case yet, so maybe we'll find time to do that later today.